welcome to my kitchen. Today we are cooking, oh my God, it's so fabulous, chicken pot pie. And I got this recipe from Emeril Lagasse. Well, I didn't get it, I didn't like call him up and say, hey Emeril, what's your pot pie? I got it from one of his cookbooks. I had to change it up a little bit so I could get it into the budget. I tasted some of the filling last night and it was super good. I will say this is a lengthy cooking. It's going to take like 2.5 hours. It's not something you just slap together. The chicken cooks for an hour, the pie cooks for an hour, and then you've got about 30 minutes with vegetables. So it's not a lot of hands-on time, but it is a lot of cooking time. You can make this a couple days ahead, stick it in the fridge, heat it up in the oven, and you're good, or cook it on a Sunday afternoon. It would be like the whole house smells fabulous. Anyway, what I did was I cooked about 1 pound of chicken. Now I used boneless chicken breast. You could use cut up pieces off of a whole chicken. You could throw thighs or legs in there. I cooked this in chicken broth for about an hour. You cook it until the meat just falls off the bone or it's super tender. And then what you do is you just use a slotted spoon, pull the chicken out, and then add your vegetables into that same broth. I used fresh carrots, onion, potatoes, mushrooms. Those are going to simmer for 30 minutes. Emeril used fresh corn and fresh lima beans. Those would have blown my budget. Corn's not in season right now, so I used canned. If you're going to use canned vegetables, do not cook them for 30 minutes. You cook your fresh vegetables first, and then about 5 minutes before they're done, you can throw in your canned vegetables or frozen. This is cooked. Now what I'm going to do to thicken this up a bit is I've got a little bit of flour and some butter at room temperature. We're just going to make a paste with this. I'm just going to ladle some of this hot broth into the paste mixture here. And you want to stir it until it gets really super smooth. And then we're just going to add this back in. It's going to thicken up that broth. And then this is going to simmer. We're going to put the chicken back in. And this is going to simmer for just about 5 minutes. And then what you want to do is you want the chicken mixture to cool down before you put it into the pie shell. And here's the trick with having a really good crust and everything. Keep your pie crust in the fridge until absolutely you're ready to use it. You want it to be cold. And you want this mixture to be cooled down. I'll actually stick it in the fridge for about 5 minutes because then if you put it into the pie crust, it'll already start baking and make the bottom soggy. So we're going to take this off the heat, let it cool down. I'm going to stick it in the fridge for about 5 minutes and then it'll be time to fill our pies. My filling is cooled down. So we are just going to stuff this pie. Now, I would typically have a deep dish pie pan, but last night I had dishes in my cabinet that weren't straight, and all of a sudden the cabinet door swung open and one of my good pie plates broke. You want to fill it all the way to the top. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I am not the most beautiful pastry person, so I'm sure once I get this pie put together, you'll see what I'm talking about. But it just goes to show you that anybody could do this. This is going to cook at 400 degrees for 20 minutes, and then what you'll do is you'll decrease the temperature to 350 and it'll cook another 40 minutes. Now all I'm going to do is just crimp it together. You want to take a really sharp knife, cut some slits in here so the steam can escape. Then this is just an egg with a little bit of water. I'm going to put an egg wash on here. That's going to help brown this up. Okay, that looks really pretty for me. By the way, my dress is from Goodwill. I believe I paid $4.99 for this. You want to cook this in the lowest rack of the oven. My oven's really dirty. And again, we're going to do that for 20 minutes. Then we're going to lower the temperature to 350 and cook it for another 40 minutes. She's like, do I want a Cheerio? They're like, what's they want chicken pot pie. This is done. Look how, I mean, I think it looks beautiful. And you know what? You've got crust, you've got vegetables, you've got meat, your protein. You don't really need anything else. If you wanted to serve it with a side salad or some fruit, you could do that. But this is basically a one-dish fabulous meal. Whew, it's still hot. Can you see that steam? And I do not want to miss out on this. This is super hearty. Again, this is enough. Just FYI, these green chargers, if you wait until after Christmas to buy them, they eventually go down to 10 cents each at Walmart. Last year, when we saw them go to 10 cents, we went and bought 50. It's like $5. Okay, let's see how this tastes. Worth every bit of the 2.5 hours it took to cook. Again, not a lot of hands-on time. It's mostly going to be on the stove or in the oven. Put it together. It is so worth it. It's delicious. Cheers, and I will see you next week. She's